Oh my god.
Not an elf in purple robes, though.
Okay.
Finely decorated armor, really nice sword at his hip, shield strapped to his back.
The elf?
Yes, this elf.
Okay, not the halfling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very dressed very ordained. Almost holy in a sense.
Okay, good.
The look of shock on this halfling's face.
Oh, because I told the halfling about this person.
Yes. And he is just shocked to see you. And I mean, almost to the point where he passes out. He's just like, you. And he says, Jocko, meet Oronok. And he's like, interesting, I've heard your story yesterday.
Wait.
And I've heard...
Who said Jocko meet Oronok? Graal?
Graal.
Oh, so
Graal.
The halfling is Jocko.
Yes.
Okay.
Jocko had
Now that I know that.
yesterday and had told him the story. And he said he's very shocked to see you here. It was unexpected.
Shocked me a little.
Yeah, I mean...
and I'll see, I did tell him about you.
Yeah, and he said, well, you told me you talked to this guy and what he had done to you, so I thought maybe I would prepare myself even more and find out more about myself. Do I not want no part of it? No, but the more I know, the more I can defend myself against. Graal will go on to tell you, and like you, these same things have happened. It's very, very interesting. He's like,
I have my robes on, right?
yeah, your fancy robes on. While you trying to hide your hand. Mm-hmm. Give me a sleight of hand.
Oh shit! That's not even a thing I know how to do. What is it based on? Dex.
Dex.
Okay, I would assume. Yeah, it's Dex. I got a 17.
Shouldn't have been rolling all the 19s away.
I know.
Right?
I know.
What probably would have been like what, a 21, maybe 20 by then.
21.
No. Okay. So you see him trying to hide your hand in your sleeve, maybe do one of these numbers, and he's like, he's very shocked and happy to see you here. Maybe together with him you can find more answers. And he's like, I do have one bit of information for you.
Yeah.
But now that he's here, maybe I can tell you both.
Sure.
He'll tell you at the Maximus College in Corvosa, there was a student there named Ravlin Silvari.
Ravlin?
Yes. Ravlin. Silvari. Sylvari.
Okay.
Who was an elf who was trying to master wizardry and the arts of necromancy, transmutation. What caught my attention was that I had figured you out to be a clone, and it was the same with him. And what was strange is, and I'm not telling you this is tied to you in any way, but he, for one, he could not pass to get to Academy, which is the bigger college in Corvosa. But even there, they threw him out because his ways were very, very strange. And what caught my attention was, I remember hearing the story when I was at the college that he, at one time, was polymorphing people. Not for his needs, but for their needs. But in a very strange manner. The story that sticks out was there was a man who was in love with a halfling. But it was so strange to people, he asked to be polymorphed to a halfling, so two people would be so strange and they could be comfortable together. He had the right idea that he wanted to clone the man into a halfling. Well, if you are not familiar with the spell clone, clone takes place when a person dies. So he took the man, polymorphed him, took a piece of him to clone to this halfling, changed him back human, and then for the fun of it, killed him to put him in the body. Such a thing I found interesting because, as I told you, you were not you, but you were you. So, and after meeting him yesterday to find out that he told me that he believes there are more of you, I found that interesting. That here I thought you were the only one, but yet he shows up, but I've mistaken you for being you, but not you, and then casting the same spells on him, it's the exact same thing. Something awfully strange is going on. So maybe, when I said you were cloned, maybe you were not an orc at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not an halfling at all. And that is one story that stuck out to me. The only problem is, that man died over a century ago.
I woke up 3-4 months ago.
Strange. Makes no sense.
No.
So maybe someone out there is picking up on his work.
Man. So Ravlin died a century ago. Over a century ago.
Over a century ago.
Died over.
Jocko is just is almost disturbed by this. Like, that's not what he expected to hear at all. And he looks at you, very serious look on his face. He's like, this is why I want no part of any of this. He's like, maybe it was a mistake to come here, because that just makes this even stranger.
That you're tied to something like that?
No, that we
Well,
are tied to something like that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we're a pawn in a game of chess.
Even the pawns can take out a king, buddy.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I mean, that's my dead serious answer, or not answer, but comment back.
I mean, you say that he does not like the tone that you've put this in.
Yeah.
Jocko asked you, why did you come here?
Because you were the very first person I came to, and whenever
Jocko.
Oh, Jocko.
This entire time, Graal has a smile on his face. Like he has stumbled upon a lost mystery to the world.
Jocko asked me. He's the very first person I came to with anything. He was the first person I told any of it, of what happened to me too. Whenever I told him whenever I found anything out, I would come back to him. I don't know. I felt the need for if there was any clues of what I am or who I am, maybe he could help.
And a clue just happened to walk in the day before you.
Yeah.
Fate, perhaps.
Yeah.
If you believe in the gods. If you believe in what gods line up.
I've heard of them.
Oh yes, we've had this conversation when we first met. It's like Jocko, I'm truly sorry that this has happened when you're here. It's not what I expected, but when he walked and left a note for me yesterday, I thought that maybe the information that I had found for him, I would tell for both of you, because you wanted answers, and though it's not an answer, it's definitely possibly a clue, because throughout all the colleges in Varissia, he was like, no one had ever performed anything like that.
Yeah.
And then here you are, you know, the exact same thing happened to you, which happened to Oronok, and it only made sense that to bring you two together to let you both know. You know, and maybe together you guys could solve this.
I mean, I brought that up with Jocko before, and he didn't really want to.
Jocko just...
Yeah, he didn't want anything to do with it.
The elf puts his hand on his shoulder and he's like, Jocko, calm down. He's like, I will let nothing happen to you. Thank you.
I'll ask Jocko, who's your friend?
His name is... He goes by the name Stormstrike.
Stormstrike. Is that a G.I. Joe?
It's Storm Shadow.
Yeah, Storm
I
Shadow.
had to think there for a second. Hold up. No, that is Storm. He goes by the name Stormstrike.
Stormstrike. You said he looked very, like a holy or...
Very, like, noble looking, yes. He tells you, Stormstrike found me in the swamp. When I told you I had come out of the cave through the river, almost like, as in fate from the gods, he was there with his hand extended.
Yeah.
Strange days.
You're very lucky. I had no one.
And by your story, yes, that's very, very unfortunate. Or maybe they were trying to extend their hands to you. Maybe we've all had someone there meant to help us, and you just reacted differently.
Possible. Very possible.
He tells Graal, thank you for the bit of information, but I must be going now. Almost as if he seems rushed.
As soon as they turn around and start to leave, I'm going to very quietly cast a spell.
Okay, what are you casting?
Detect magic.
On both of them?
Yeah.
Well, they both glow.
Yeah, I want to know if it's just armor that glows on Stormstrike, or if it is
His
entire being that's glowing.
Oh. Because you feel the pain from Jocko and whatnot. Like I said,
I want to know if Stormstrike is an illusion.
An illusion? No, Stormstrike is very, very real.
Okay.
He's a real person. His armor glows.
Yeah, I figured. I wanted to know if he was made himself a bodyguard to look,
No, like, yes, trying to fool you, no. But no. Of course, Jocko himself glows. And there's a small piece of webbing on him that glows too.
Small piece of webbing?
It looks like a web through your detect magic that's on him.
How would that?
It's like rolled up. And it looks like a spider's web. Kind of sticks out of his belt to his robes in front of him. Like right here. Like where his robes would fold over.
That's weird. That's probably something that I'm not getting, but...
Also, you notice the whole room itself glows.
Does it?
The walls glow.
Really?
I mean, very brightly at that.
Okay. I'll shut her down. I would assume that's probably in case shit busts loose, it's a trap or something. I mean...
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I could attempt to spellcraft it, but I don't think the dude's gonna light me up there on those walls.
Like, what do you got going on here?
Yeah. Oh man, I really.
Jocko shakes Graal's hand. Stormstrike shakes him, and Stormstrike, thank you very much for this information. He extends his hand to you.
I'll shake it.
Thank you for sending us here. We've learned a great deal about Jocko. It means a lot to him. I mean, as nice as he could be.
Do I recognize anything on Stormstrike as like a holy symbol or anything? Because I mean, I understand what holy symbols are.
You would assume he's got one on his armor. You would assume. I mean, it's nothing that you know.
No.
Religion is very, very new to you.
But it is something that could tie me to a church
that
if I ever go back.
You would think by what you have wore that you've got from the cult and what he wears, yeah, you would think that, okay, he's got some deity himself too.
I mean, I'm going to try to make a little mental picture of his garb.
As he shakes his hand, he's very, very nice and polite, like I said. Then all of a sudden, his stern is very strict towards you.
Oh, he's a paladin. Yeah, he's detected evil. I would assume.
I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, he looks at you very strict.
Damn, he's got good saves then.
Jocko and Storm Shadow bid you farewell, and they leave the room. Graal begins to laugh. He says, not what you were expecting, was it?
No.
And I can see what you're thinking. He tells you should be wary of that paladin. You should be very wary of that wand at his waist. Because I can see it in your eye, what you're planning to do. That wand will hold you in place. And he's a paladin. And I'm not sure if you understand the ways of paladins and what paladins do.
I know they're a warrior of God. Is all
they have, to each in their own, they all have their own set of laws and beliefs. But he will do whatever he can to protect you. He will kill you. And I believe, Jocko, that he wants no part of this, but I can tell that you do.
I believe him too.
And he's like, so be very, very, very careful.
So who's Stormstrike's god?
He tells you it's not important at this time.
Okay.
Because I'm curious to see how this plays out. Because I have something for you.
Okay.
He brings you a mask and tells you this will disguise you.
Okay.
Because he knows what you're wanting to do. He tells you, honestly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Stormstrike knows, or
Stormstrike knows.
You said he knows what you're wanting to do.
No, Graal.
Okay, Graal knows what I'm wanting to do.
He gives you a couple of potions. This potion will increase your strength by 6, your constitution by 4, your dexterity by 2. Just in case.
And I got 2 of those?
You've got 1.
I got 1 of those, okay.
He tells you just in case. And he's like, do you mind? He goes to touch you.
Nah, fine.
He's like, so I can see this all unfold. And he casts that spell on you.
Oh god, I got like a wicked eye now? Like he can see through my bad eye?
He can't see through that eye, per se.
He's like, shit's all fuzzy.
When he tells you to be very careful of those 2, they are prepared.
I'll smile.
Oh, your smile will not be as big as his. He is very, very intrigued by this whole thing.
I just think it's cool to find somebody that is like, yeah, I mean,
he's
do what you're gonna
see
do.
what happens. Because to him, he has heard there was you. And then he came in and heard his side of the story the day before, and now he has heard your side of the story.
I'll ask him what's his side of the story.
He never knew about what happened to the dwarf. The dwarf was real.
Yeah.
But he told me that the dwarf and him wanted to talk alone. But the halfling is smart. How you gained his trust, I do not know. But I guess the dwarf set him off as bad. He said the dwarf was very, very angry. And he had took Stormstrike with him to that cliff. And
that's the only easiest opportunity there was.
The dwarf apparently went to attack him first, thinking that if he killed him, by some chance he would gain like immeasurable power, which you have realized is not the case yet.
It's measurable.
And,
I did tell him that. I mean, I told him when I touched it, I gained some shit.
And but see, he wasn't neither one of them knew what was going to happen, and Jocko literally had tricked him into killing himself.
Yeah.
By what he told me, he made a image of himself on top of himself, turned himself invisible, and had stepped out of the way, and literally the dwarf ran right through him and off the cliff. These two are prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That little one's very sly.
Yeah.
But either or, what is going to happen is you're going to die trying. Or you're going to kill them both. You'll have to. That paladin will give his life for that halfling as he tries to escape. But I will tell you that if he does escape and you manage to defeat Stormstrike, he will go to Corvosa, where he has more powerful allies than just him.
The halfling?
Yes, Jocko.
What, do you know his allies? Do you know who he
did
has
not.
allied himself with?
He's being very particular about what information he gives.
Because he told me he had friends and enemies.
Oh, he mentioned nothing to me of enemies.
Man.
Just that just friends. That he had made friends and that he wanted no part.
In Corvosa?
In Corvosa. I promise you, I am 100% sure that is where he will return.
Okay.
So, please take your leave. My spell only works for a few days.
Oh, so I'm going straight back. I'm going straight to. Oh, okay. You said he gave me a mask that will disguise myself. What does that do?
It basically polymorphs you.
Okay, so I can be whatever.
You want. In the range of humanoid.
Yeah.
Don't say, I'm a pit fiend.
I want to be a dwarf with black hair and a gray beard.
Well, no, that'd not be odd.
Boy, being Stormstrike would be a real fuck up to that halfling.
The only way to find out.
Yeah, man. All right, so I got the mask that polymorphs me. Is that like?
Yeah, he will ask you to return that to him. By the way. It's a very powerful item.
If I don't return, it's because I'm dead.
Well, he's going to know where it's at.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I like him.
He likes you and Jocko.
Yeah.
But you can gather that he is taken aside.
Yeah, I like that too. All right.
Now, Oronok has very powerful allies.
I don't hate that. So I have the mask and the potion that gives me strength, con, dex. So his assumption is he's going to pretty much leave here and go to Corvosa.
That's what he assumes. He did not expect him to leave so soon. He thinks that your presence here has scared him.
Man, I don't want him to leave, honestly.
He ushers you to
I'm going to go.
Yeah,
I'm going to go. I'm not sneaky or fucking any, but I'm polymorph now. I mean, I can be polymorph now. All right, so no, I don't want to take Stormstrikes. Look, because then it's like Stormstrike walking up on Stormstrike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll ask him. Is he staying anywhere, or that you know of?
That's the only inn in town.
Is mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Remember, this is a very small.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I keep thinking we're back in the bigger town.